What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Speak on It. Y'all know what it is. It's me and Biv. I'm your host. But before we go and get started, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. The link tree is in the comments. But we can go and get it started. Basketball playoffs started last night. Um, we got the Tony LaRusso comments and Kwame Brown. So we're gonna dive right into it. Let's start right off the back with the Tony LaRusso. What's your thoughts on that, Bear?
It's just another sign that baseball is still not willing to grow. It's still got that old uh, get off my lawn mentality, man. Like, have some fun. Have some fun. Allow these guys to have some fun. And at the same time, guys got to be better. We can't be saluting no hitters and at the same time upset that guys are swinging at 3-0 pitches. These guys are struggling. A lot of guys are struggling to hit. We still are in this whole either we're swinging for the yard or we're striking out. So that's why you're seeing the no hitters. But if that's their mentality, then they're going to swing at pitches when they get an opportunity. It's a 3-0 count. Don't just lay one in there. Don't just lay one in there. I This whole notion that I'm supposed to keep it, I guess, good sportsmanship during competition. No, 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 no. Good sportsmanship during competition is picking you up when you're down. I knock you down. I help you up. You know what I mean? Not talking trash to crossing the line. I don't mind a little trash talk, but not crossing the line when you're talking trash. That's showing good sportsmanship. Shaking hands after the game. You know what I mean? But in the in terms of competition, it's your job to stop me from hitting home runs. You know what I mean? It's my job to make sure that I hit home runs or I make base hits or I score 3 pointers. Like, it's whatever my job is, that's my job. I'm not supposed to stop doing my job because you're having a bad night. And that's the notion that I'm baseball is really getting crazy about all of a sudden.
I think that the crazy thing about it is that the baseball is the one sport, maybe baseball and hockey, that you have to keep scoring. You legit just you have to, because you don't. The one, there's no clock. Well, hockey is a clock. Yeah, I mean, but baseball, it's no clock.
No clock in
So
baseball. It's just
so
outs.
uh, a team can legit score 15 runs in an inning.
Easily.
You can be down 15. Yeah, I mean, going into the bottom of the ninth and win 16-15. Like, I'm with you. There has to be a balance. Talking about with the sportsmanship, but there's no mercy rule in baseball. Yeah, I mean, so to keep scoring, that doesn't mean that I'm not showing class, or doesn't mean that I'm not showing sportsmanship.
It
With
just
me,
shows that I'm still playing. Like,
right?
I don't get
I,
it.
I'm still engaged and I'm still trying to win. I'm trying to win the game. Like you said, at any given day, I've seen teams score 10 runs in an inning. 10 runs in an inning.
Man,
Like,
my Braves just scored 20 runs last night.
you have to keep scoring. It has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with sportsmanship. It has nothing, and I'm with you. Like, especially in this baseball, with this baseball, where it is swing for the fences or nothing. Like, it's no in between. There is no like, bro. Going back to the Phillies, right? And I'm like, yo, Joe, I thought you was bringing that old school mentality to the Phillies. You know what I mean? Teaching them how to actually play baseball. Nope. Like, bro, in the game, like, I think it was a game against y'all. Yep, it was the game against y'all, and we up. Um, or we was on runners and running on the second. Yeah, I mean, with the new rule, and I'm like, why we just don't bunt? Why we just don't bunt it? 0 outs. It's 0 outs. Running on second. I'm like, or running on first and second. I'm like, why we just don't bunt to move the scoring run over to the third base? Just move him over to the third base, and then we can go from there. But at least get that, like, the game of baseball, like you said, it's changed the way it's played, but the mentality of it is still the same. Like the old school mentality of it is still the same, but the way it's played now, it's like it's almost in a sense like with basketball. Also, I'm gonna tie that in where with basketball, it's no mid rangers, don't play D. It's all threes, all layups. Baseball, it is all home runs or nothing.
Yep. Home runs or nothing.
And it's sad to say, I mean, because it takes the beauty out of it's taking the beauty out of the sport.
Also, I seen something where people were like, just to stay with baseball, where people were like, they should do away with shifts. No, guys should learn to hit opposite field. Like, well, I don't like. No, guys should learn to hit opposite field. You should take away the shift. That's part of that's strategy. That's part of baseball. Like, I want to take away. That's like saying, well, you should take away no doubles defense. No, that's part of the strategy. Like, yes, shift. But if guys start learning to hit the ball opposite field or just lay a bunt down opposite way, they'll stop shifting against you. But until you can prove that you can hit the ball the opposite field or that you can just consistently lay down a bunt as a threat that way, they're going to continue to shift on you. I don't agree with that either. Continue to shift. Guys need to learn to hit the ball the opposite way.
Baseball is no longer being a strategic game. That's where it's going. Like, it's no longer being a strategic game.
But the question is it because it's not being taught, or is it because guys just don't have the skill set?
I think guys still have this. I do think guys have the skill set. I think that it's no longer being taught.
Because I rarely see a guy go with the mindset to get a ground ball to the right side of the field just to move a guy from second to third. I rarely see it. I rarely see it.
Again, like you said, like or a sack fly. Like I seen again, go back to the Phillies game, but just a couple games that I watched. Like with the new rule in extra innings, the guy automatically starts on the second base. Automatically starts on second base. Like you said, how about the ground out? You feel me? Or a sack fly, like or laying a bunt down. It's so much. And the rule the reason that they put the rule in there is because they didn't want long innings. It should be easy. You still get 3 outs, like you still get all of that, but yet we still see people swinging for the fences. Like they put that rule in there to be strategic, and for me, I don't see them using it. And again, when we talk about being taught, again, go back to my Phillies, Joe Girardi. I thought he's a baseball guy. I thought he was going to come in and teach them fundamentals and teach them how to play the game of baseball old school way.
That's a skill that can't be taught overnight. That being able to go, because now the hitting coaches are teaching launch angles.
Mm-hmm.
So you go from a mentality of launch angle to now, oh my gosh, I got to try to hit a ground ball to the right side of the field. That is a totally different approach to the plate. And then you get the pitcher. He's probably just throwing gas majority of the time. The guys that have great secondary pitches are the guys that really, really are good. But most of the time, it's just heat that's coming. You want to drive that. That's all you want to do. You want to drive that. You see that, you want to try to hit that ball as far as possible, and that's what you see. It's the guys that have those secondary pitches that are just filthy, and you just see these guys look completely lost most nights.
I'm gonna tell you, I was thinking about this when we were talking. It's not gonna get better because, again, I'm gonna use an analogy with basketball. Who changed the sport of basketball right now? Steph Curry. Steph Curry changed the sport of basketball. Why? his launch angles. He can launch from anywhere. He can shoot from anywhere. But the thing about Steph is guys see that and they say, "Oh, I want to shoot threes. I want to shoot threes like Steph." Steph has a complete skill set. He can handle. He can shoot threes, mid-range game. He can finish. He does it all, right? I'm saying how I'm gonna tie this back into baseball is that when I look at the young studs right now in baseball, they're gonna change the game again in the bad, not in a entertaining way, but people are gonna see that. Oh, I want to be like Tatis. You see, he's smacking bombs. The kid from Chicago, the White Sox, bombs. Like all the young faces of the game, they're being taught launch angles, and they are killing it. But I think that they also have the other little nuances in their game for them to be complete players. But kids coming up, they see that and they're going to say, "I just want to smack home runs. I just want to hit home runs," and that's what's going to change the sport. That is where the baseball is dying, in a sense, because the beauty of baseball would make baseball great was the strategic part of the game. That's what made it great. That's why people watch it, because of the strategies. I know a lot of people say, "Well, it was a little bit boring," but you can still have strategic strategy in a sport and still have it entertaining. I love the strategic part of sports, and I think that people are taking that out of it.
Yeah, I feel you on the strategy. For me, it's the
Yeah.
skill set. For me, it's the skill set. It's the skill set, and really just putting in the time and the work to be able to hit the ball opposite field. To
Two.
be able to know as I go up to the approach, I'm gonna look for a ball in a certain place to be able to hit it to the right side of the field to move a guy from second to third with one out. So those are the types of things to me that it's the skill set as well as the strategy part of it. And I feel like it's you pick whichever one you want to say it is, whichever one you want to say it is, it's both. They
Yep.
don't use the strategy and they don't have the skill set. So,
Yep. And
but
I think they both go hand in hand,
yep,
because I think that a skill set comes from the players, but I think the strategic part comes from the managers.
yep.
Like, you have to teach that part of the game to your players. And again, like I said, when I'm looking at these old school coaches, I don't think that they know how to mesh
And
the
it starts
two.
at youth. Those that start in the major leagues, it starts at youth.
Yep,
So
yep, yep.
teach these kids how to in little league and in travel ball, teach these kids how to hit the ball opposite field. Teach them how to let the ball travel a little deeper, have a little bit more patience at the plate, and drive the ball the opposite way.
I'm gonna say this, then like I said, we'll move on. Baseball is a beautiful sport when you understand it. It's a beautiful sport. Again, from a skill. Listen, I was somebody who was terrible at baseball. Yeah, I mean, because again, I wasn't taught the right ways. I was young, but I swung at everything. I listen. I was your, I was your, I was your nowadays player. I, it's either swing for the fences or strike out. Yeah, I mean, but like I
I
said,
feel you.
understanding the strategic part of it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yep, yep. Um, let's jump into these playoffs. Let's jump into these playoffs. Um, listen, it's tough for me to get on here tonight to talk about playoff basketball, man.
I told you. I told you. Didn't I tell you? I
So,
told you yesterday.
but you got it half right. Uh, listen, my number one team is in, so I'm cool. The Sixers have number one seed. Uh, but listen, talking about last night. Everybody know who watched the show. Everybody who knew me, I mean, know how much of a Steph Curry fan I am. I am. He did his thing last night. He balled out last night. Yeah, I mean, Bill said he was going. Yeah, I mean, he was going to come in big moments. Shout out, hats out to the Grizzlies. Grizzlies played a hell of a game. We're gonna jump. Let's just talk dissect it. They boxed him. They boxed him one the hell out of Steph Curry last night. Like the ultimate respect. They gave him the ultimate respect. Like the way they face guarding. Like Dylan Brooks legit face guarded my man most of the game. He didn't even look at at no other player. Go
Why?
go.
Why? Why? I'm not gonna let one guy beat me. I refuse to let one guy beat me. And that's what the Warriors are. They're one guy. They go as he goes. So nope. I refuse to let it happen. And the Grizzlies did a good enough job. You know, it looked like they was gonna pull away at one point, and then next thing you know, they were back in it. And then it's a tie ball game. You got to go into overtime. It was a sloppy game, but it had to be sloppy because the Grizzlies had to keep it ugly. Because if they let the Warriors offense flow, that means Steph is getting off.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to make it an ugly game to get him and keep him off of a rhythm, and he never really was able to get in a rhythm. Because when he gets in a rhythm, you're gonna have a long night.
Mm-hmm.
So
The crazy thing about one, he had 40 last night. Yeah, I mean, so which is crazy because you talk about him not being in the rhythm and in the flow, and he still had 40 in the game. For me, I'm with you. It gave me last night's gave me um the flashback to I think the six finals where they boxed him one Steph and they kept leaving Harrison Barnes open and they kept leaving all the other players open and they just couldn't hit. Like Steph last night set up so many players last night that did not hit shots. He did not hit shots, and from Andrew Wiggins to JTA to Draymond Green. I don't know what that was at the end of the relation of Draymond Green. I don't know what that was, bro. Like it was like 0.5 seconds or something like that. 3 seconds left last night. Steph hit you wide open. There's literally nobody near Draymond Green. All you gotta do is just go in, dunk the ball, or finger roll it, whatever it is. He threw it up. I don't know what he did. That's what cost him the game. The teammates around Steph Curry did not help him. And Wiggins did a little bit, but the rest of the guys, they did not help him out, and he needed that. But again, shout out to the Grizzlies who did their thing. Ja Morant gave him 35 last night. Dylan Brooks gave him a lot. That's a complete team over there. So yeah, again, it's tough for me to not have my Warriors in there, but the Grizzlies. Watching the game was like, if the Grizzlies win the game, I'm not mad because the youth, you get the youth, in the game. You get Ja Morant in the playoffs. You're getting Devin Booker in the playoffs. You're getting these young guys experiencing the playoffs because this is going to be a future of the NBA. Yeah,
very
man.
true.
So if you get to see them in the NBA, I mean, in the playoff games, get their feet wet because the Warriors ain't going away. They will have a full roster next year, and I think that they'll be a top team. They showed you, Steph showed you that what he can do by himself. I mean, he had nobody last night, and he gets guys back next year. So I think they'll be straight next year. But getting Ja Morant in the playoffs, and getting them experience, I think it's only good for the NBA.
I'm with you. Um, this is an opportunity to see more of the young guys that's going to be the future at some point, and they're going to be the faces of the league at some point. Devin Booker, John Morant. Wish you could see Zion. You know what I mean? But we know his situation. Um, so great opportunity here. Great opportunity, and we'll get into it. But I'm not saying that they're gonna win, but I think the Grizzlies can give the Jazz all they can handle. They might even sweep them, but it won't be an easy series at all
I
by
agree,
any means.
I agree with you. I'm thinking about all the teams that's in the NBA, all the teams that's in the playoffs right now, and I'm like, when you start to go down the rosters, I think the oldest team in the NBA, I mean, in the playoffs, is the Lakers. Their star is the only that like and the Nets. LeBron 36, Kevin Durant 32. All the other stars that's in the and Chris Paul, but he still got young stud with him.
So, but he's got youngins all around him.
He got young studs around them. So I'm sitting there thinking like, dang, from the Sixers to and the Wizards. And the Wizards. They got old stars with them too. But sitting thinking like the NBA in good hands. When you got 3 out of the 16 teams that only have that whose superstars are 30
Mm-hmm.
in good hands. Giannis, I think Joel Embiid 27 in August. When all the stars are 27 or lower, with only 3 of them being in the 30s, NBA in good hands. So, yeah, like you said.
Yeah, this is great experience for especially a Grizzlies team that again I like the roster.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody is healthy, I like the roster if they can continue to grow. And if guys, again, we know eventually the money's going to become an issue dealing with a small market team.
Yeah.
So it's going to be where the guys are going to willing to sacrifice money for winning together, or guys are going to want to get my money first, and if I can win after that, I'm fine. But you choose your own right. But hopefully they can stay together.
Portland, forgot. So it's 4 teams. Portland, they older too. But let's get to these playoffs. Let's get to these picks. Let's start with let's start with 4 or 5 matchups. We got the Knicks, Atlanta. The Knicks and Atlanta in the East.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you, this was a tough one for me. Tough. Because I like the star power in Atlanta. I also like Nate McMillan. I mean, I like Trey. I like John Collins. I like the vets they got. I like Lou. On paper, that's a good team. But the Knicks, man, they just the Knicks are Coach Thibodeau on the court. Just look tough-minded. Julius Randle is a bona fide star right now. Real quick, I know the LeBron players gonna hate me or LeBron King's Court gonna come at me for this, but LeBron had a bunch of players, bro. Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram won MIP last year. Julius Randle gonna win MIP this year. Jordan Clarkson's gonna win Sixth Man of the Year, who also played with LeBron. So everybody.
No, I'm not gonna say LeBron. I'm gonna say the Lakers, because those guys wouldn't have developed into what they are under LeBron. Let's just be real, because he stunts growth. Let's just be real. That's why he always wants veteran guys who are already established in the roles that they're going to be able to play. He doesn't want young guys that he needs to groom into probably things that they don't need to be. Julius Randle would have best been a spotter. He would have been Kevin Love. And we seen what happened with Kevin Love when he started playing with LeBron. Just being real. Sorry. So it was the Lakers. They didn't have no patience. None. Zero patience. You had Lonzo. You had Julius Randle. You had Brandon Ingram. You had Kuz. Like, you had a pretty good core. The problem was you had the wrong guy coaching. Sacramento was going through the same thing because you had the wrong guy coaching, and because you weren't willing to part ways really with him, you made the decision to go get LeBron, because you didn't have to sign him. He was a free agent. You didn't have to sign him, but you decided to sign him. It was probably the better decision short term, but long term with those deep pockets in that market, you could have been able to pay that core guys for for the future if you were willing to bring in the right coach to coach them.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that team. But yeah, back to these Knicks. Back to this pick 4-5, Atlanta Knicks. I actually see a long series, 6-7 games. I like that they both are young, are getting experience. Um, it's tough for me to pick against Trey in this series, but I'm gonna go with the Knicks, man. I'm gonna go with the Knicks in 7. Just because they play a lot of defense, they tough. They swept Atlanta. They swept Atlanta in the regular season. And I just think Julius Randle's on a mission. Julius Randle is on a mission. My man been passed everywhere. He's been a beast everywhere he went, and he's improved everywhere he went.
Like it's hard to pick against the Knicks. You know that playoffs defense is gonna eventually take over. But I remember I used to think that in Super Bowls and stuff too. But it started to look like that trend is going away. It started to look like that trend might be going away in the NBA as well. So I'm gonna go with the Hawks. I feel like they got the better offensive weapons. I feel like they got the better shooters. And honestly, I'm going to keep it 100. I feel like they got the better coach. So
Agree.
give me the Hawks in 6.
I say I do think the Hawks have the better coach. I don't think they're that much better though. But I know we're talking playoff basketball first round. But shout out to my man Nate McMillan real quick, who got fired from Indiana for winning, because that's all man did was win. And he got a job. He's going to get the job in Atlanta full time.
He better.
I mean they came out and said it that they
Okay. I heard they were considering.
yeah, well yeah.
I'm like considering. Like,
So
okay.
and he going well. He should get the job in Atlanta for all he does is win.
They're not here right now, and as the 5 seed
Without Nate,
without Nate. They weren't even in the playoff picture at one point until he took over. I think they won like their first 9-10 games
I,
with him on the sideline as the head coach. Yeah,
I
he's
think
the guy. He's the
11.
guy, Atlanta.
I think they 26-11 since he took over.
He's the guy.
26-11 again, and there's no shot to my man Lloyd Pierce. I think he should take the Indiana job. But yeah, like Lloyd Pierce should get another job. But yeah, Nate McMillan, he's the guy, like you said. So shout out to my man Nate McMillan. And the guy they got in Indiana, I'm gonna say this, that we're gonna move on to the other 4-5. I listened to one of my man in-game huddle things. I said, what the freak is he talking about? This the guy y'all chose over Nate McMillan? My man was like, just stand there and take a charge.
Who is it anyway? Who is their coach in it?
Nate Bjorken.
Oh.
They took him because he was the assistant coach in Toronto. Anyway, I ain't gonna harp too much on my man. I just wanted to ironic that Nate McMillan got fired last year from Indiana because he took them to 4 straight playoff games, playoff berths, and the dude that you hired is knocked out in the play and the oh, he didn't make it. Oh, he didn't make it. And you can say, well, he had a lot of injuries. So did Nate. Anyway, let's go to these 4-5. Let's get to this 4-5 in the West. Dallas Clippers. Listen, we was on record last year, right? That said, if that Dallas team was healthy,
Mm-hmm.
they beat that Clippers team. Do we feel the same this year?
No. One guy is the difference. You get ready to get playoff Rondo. And playoff Rondo is a different animal. We've seen it in multiple places. We've seen it in Boston. We've seen it in Chicago before he got hurt. They was going to win that series. We seen it in New Orleans. Um, Dame got swept. So yeah, you're getting ready to see playoff Rondo, and playoff Rondo is going to be a different animal for the Clippers. It's going to be the guy. He was what they were missing, that floor leadership when they blew like double digit leads in every game of the series against that they ended up losing to Denver. So that's not going to happen with Rondo. That's not going to happen with Rondo. But that's it for him. They're gonna win that one series, and then that's a wrap for them. They're not gonna win no more after that.
Oh, okay. He gave me a little precursor what we might talk about next week. I agree with you. I don't think that the Dallas beat the Clippers. I think the Clippers are too much. I think that they're actually deeper this year. I actually think they're better this year. Like you said, even though they got Lou, they got rid of Lou, they got rid of Montrezl Harrell. I don't think Montrezl Harrell is the same player. I don't think Lou Williams is the same.
I'm with you, man. I don't even know what's going on with Montrez. At least we can say Lou is getting a little longer in the tooth. You know what I mean? We can blame it on that. Montrez, he just looked like a guy that went across the hall and was like, "Man, they win championships here. I'm cool." Like he don't even look like the same hungry guy anymore that he was just across the hall. So, but Dallas for me, they're gonna make it tough because Luka's that good. They're gonna make it tough. Porzingis, is he gonna be healthy for the entire series? That's the question. Is he gonna be healthy the entire series? Rondo is gonna make sure that Paul George and Kawhi get the ball where they have to get the ball in order to be successful. He's gonna make the game easier for them if they are willing to allow him to be that guy. So Ty Lue is gonna have to make sure that guys know the roles for this run. And I'll recant my statement. If they show me something in this Dallas series, maybe I'll change my mind. But if playoff P is playoff P, no, they're not going to win beyond this Dallas series.
Who the is playoff P?
No. That's what he called himself. That's what he called himself. So we waiting for him. We waiting for that guy. We waiting for that guy to show up. We waiting for Paul George to become playoff P. He said that about himself. So I've never heard anybody call him playoff P. Like you get those names when you do historic things and make great runs. Like you was just going to the conference finals because the rest of the conference was trash to play against the Heat. That was your only thing in the playoffs, and you weren't even good in those series.
He also had Danny Granger, and Roy Hibbert and Jamal Hensley and like I mean, listen, he was young, and you did have it coming out. You did have it coming out in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, you was young, you was younger. But since he been the guy, what playoff P? Man, anyway, I do got the Clippers in this series. I think the Clippers actually win this series in like 5. They got Rondo because of Serge Ibaka, because of Luke Kennard. I just think that they are a deeper team this year, and I think Dallas has lost a lot. I mean, I know people were like, "Well, losing Steph Curry spacing is a lot." We seeing that. We seeing that right now. The difference. I think that that just the construction of the team is a little bit different. The offense flows a little bit different. We see Stephen Silas did for that team last year. Parlay that into a job with the Rockets. I just think that the Clippers are locked in differently again because they do have Rondo. They do have somebody who's going to get them in better spots. And Paul George looks good in the not playoffs, in the all season. I mean, the regular season. He looked good this year. He looked better than Kawhi this year. How that translates to the playoff, we'll see. But even last year without Rondo, they beat the Clippers. I mean, they beat the Mavericks.
Yeah.
And the 2 stars for Dallas the Clippers looked trash last year in that series. So they had enough to win that series. So I do think the Clippers win this game. Now moving forward, we'll see. I'll talk about that. We'll talk about it a little later, but we'll see. 3-6 matchups in the East. Milwaukee. Milwaukee Heat.
Mm.
Mm.
This is it, right? To me, this is the greatest test, in my opinion, that the Bucks could. This was the greatest test the Bucks could have faced in the first round, because you're gonna get a guy in Jimmy Butler who's not gonna quit, and you're gonna get a coach in their exposure who is gonna design a defense that's gonna make the guys around Giannis have to beat the Heat. This is the perfect test. If you want to make a run to win an NBA championship, Milwaukee, you could not have asked for a better first round matchup to see exactly if you are capable of winning an NBA championship, because the Miami Heat are going to give you absolutely everything that they have, and we know what they're capable of doing when you put together a strategy just for you. They don't have to worry about anybody else for the next week. Well, actually, for the next last week and now this entire week. So for the last 2 weeks, they've been focused on nothing but you. So good luck to you. Good luck to you. But I think Drew Holiday takes pressure off of Chris Middleton. Also takes pressure off Giannis. And I like the Bucks. I like the Bucks in this series, but it's gonna go 7. I like the Bucks in 7. And I wanted to take Miami. But I believe in Giannis, and I believe that at some point he's gonna get over that hump. At some point,
I agree. This is why you spent 3 first rounders on Drew Holiday. This is it. Giannis is a better player this year. You see it. You see it in his game. He is a different player this year. He's a better player this year. But that's regular season. We got to see the playoffs. I think Drew Holiday is different in the playoffs. Drew Holiday this is Drew Holiday time. This is why you got Drew Holiday. But we've seen this before though. Anthony Davis, Drew Holiday. We've seen it. You know what I mean? So we've seen where they had all the talent, they got swept. We've seen the same place, same thing with the Bucks, all the time in the world, get knocked out last year, lost to the same Miami Heat team. I think this year is that Drew Holiday is older. He's a little bit better player. I think that PJ Tucker gives them a little bit more toughness. I think that Bobby Portis gives them a little bit more toughness. So I think that the surrounding cast around Giannis is a little bit better this year, and I think that the surrounding cast around Jimmy Butler and them is a little bit lesser this year. I think that they got Gordon. He's older, right? Trevor Ariza is older. I mean, they're seasoned, but they're older. Andre Iguodala, they got Andre Iguodala, but he's a little bit older as well. Their guy, Victor Oladipo, I think that he's the one that probably could have swung the series, but he's injured. Those shooters,
as always, it seems like now.
Yeah, those shooters, like Duncan Robinson, not gonna sneak up on nobody. Tyler Hero, they're not gonna sneak up on nobody. So I think this is going to be a great series. I do think it's going to go like 6. Tough, hard-fought series. But I think that I agree with you. I think that the additions of Drew, the additions of Bobby, the additions of
PJ Tucker,
Jeff Teague, I think that is what gets Milwaukee over the hump.
Yep, I agree.
So Portland, Denver. Man, this one right here. This might be the outside of the other ones that I think I like all these first round matchups, but this Portland Denver matchup, I don't know who the favorite is. I don't know. Like, I know who the favorite is on paper, but when you just look at it, and I'm looking at it, I know what Jokic done. I know what Jokic has done in the regular season. I just like Jamal. There's no Jamal Murray. There's no Jamal Murray to go bananas. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not mistaken, they was down 3-1 to the Jazz last year, right? Before Jamal Murray started going crazy. Who goes crazy this series? It has to be light skin. Yeah, I mean, but if he doesn't do it, I can see Denver losing the 6.
I can also see if CJ don't step up, or if Dame have a game or two, I can also see Denver sweeping them.
Yeah, this is an intriguing series.
This series to me is about the others and who you trust more outside of the two stars of the team. Jokic, Dame, let's just say they cancel each other out. Who else do you trust more? Do you trust CJ, Melo, Norman Powell, light skin Kevin Durant?
Like Aaron Gordon.
Let's see who else they gonna throw. Who else they gonna throw out there? Because Will Barton not playing, right?
Nah.
Jamal not playing, right? So that leaves who?
Yeah,
I can't even think the roster off the top of my head. All I know is, to me, it's about the others, and for me, the other.
I trust
Michael Porter Jr. is the guy to me who's gonna make the difference in this series.
I trust Portland others more than I trust,
and as well as, and I think Aaron Gordon, and I'll keep forgetting about Monte Morris is solid, man. Monte Morris is solid. So I feel like I trust Denver more.
See, I trust Portland.
I don't trust CJ McCollum at all. I don't. I've been telling them. I have been on the record of trading CJ McCollum for what, 3-4 years now. I've been on the record saying, Portland, you're going nowhere with CJ McCollum as your second best player.
I think this is it's a good series, man. I think that Jokic probably will be MVP, and I think he's deserving of the MVP. I think a playoff basketball is a different animal. And unless you have like a dominant mindset, like a Shaq, I just don't think Jokic would have to show me that he can dominate a series offensively on both sides of the ball, where he can take over games offensively. We know Dame can take over a series offensively. We haven't seen it from Jokic. We've seen that in the playoffs.
It was Jamal Murray last year.
Jamal Murray was the guy that took over the series. It wasn't Jokic.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But I don't think he has to be that type of guy in this series.
If Dame averaged 40, who offset that?
He still doesn't have to do it, because I still don't trust the rest of the guys from Portland. Like, Dame might average 40, but CJ might average like 16. Melo's revenge factor in this series, because it's Denver, I think he plays well. I think Melo plays well, but you still can't ask him to do more than what he's capable of doing at this point in his career.
No, it's crazy.
Norman Powell is going to be the guy. Norman Powell will have a better series than CJ.
Okay, because he's gonna have to. Because I think,
and that'll be the reason why Portland loses. And I like Portland. I've been saying Portland can be that team. I was hoping they didn't have to play a Denver in the first round. I mean, but it's the West. So, but that's the draw that they got. and I think I think it's a tough matchup, especially considering I don't think Nurkic or Cantor can handle Jokic.
I don't think so either, but I think bodies. I think they
It's gonna be it's gonna be a long series because he can bring them out on the perimeter and in that point center and just do whatever he want to do with those two guys. And that to me is gonna be that to me with really who's gonna be the perimeter defender on Michael Porter Jr. Like they don't have that.
neither got,
They
but
don't have that.
we know
So
we know
so
Mike Malone. Mike Malone defends light skin. He defend he the only one that can guard Mike.
yep. So and then for me with Portland again, outside of a consistent Dame, I don't see a guy being consistent. Hopefully it's CJ, but I don't see him being consistent. He might have a game or two, but he needs to be consistent night in and night out. Norman Powell the same way for them to even have a chance in this series, in my opinion.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I just said, right? I know I said I trust the others of Portland more than I trust the others of Denver, but I'm still picking Denver for two reasons. Light skin goes off, and I think that what you said, they don't have somebody to guard because I don't think Portland plays defense, and they don't have nobody to guard Jokic. So the bodies that you're going to throw at, because Denver will play defense. The bodies that you throw at Jokic, they're not unless Nurkic is offsetting Jokic scoring wise and rebounding. And we know what Cantor gonna give you. He'll rebound a machine. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that is their only hope. It's not what Dame does. It's not what CJ does. It's what your two bigs do. If they can put pressure on Jokic and them two together can offset some of the things that he does, then you got the chance.
Mhm.
Not, I think Denver wins in 5.
I was gonna pick Denver in 6, and again, to me, this is a CJ McCollum series. He has to be this. He has to be the second best player definitively on the Portland for them to win.
With you, I'm with you. All right, 2 7s. We talking Boston Nets. Boston Nets. I'm gonna tell you, I was torn on this series too. Why? Because the Nets are the Nets. We know what they have, right? But Boston, we talk about Jason Tatum not having Jaylen Brown there or not having Kimber there. Like Jason Tatum has a chance to say, "I'm that dude. I'm that guy." And let's be real, Kimber ain't no slouch either. So I think this series can get interesting if Jason Tatum goes bananas, if Kimber turns back into Kimber, if it's a lot of ifs, if Marcus Smart becomes that irritant that he has, if Evan Fournier, you know what I mean, can do some of the things that he did in Orlando. If listen, y'all see the trend. I just don't see what Boston has. What Boston has. Like I said, I mean Jason Tatum. Okay, I think Jason Tatum gets his thing. Kimba may do his thing too. But there's 3 monsters in Brooklyn, man. It's 3 monsters in Brooklyn. You're gonna have to compete with that firepower. And I just don't think Boston has it with Jaylen Brown injured. Even with Jaylen Brown there, I just don't know if they had enough.
Yeah. Sweet. 5 max.
I'm with you. 5-9.
5 max. Again, this is also going to be some Kyrie revenge factor into this series a little bit as well. Like, but for me, if Brooklyn is who we think they are, you make this quick work. Real quick work. You had a whole week off. It's rest, get a little more healthy. I know James just came back from injury, so you had a whole week off. I know Kyrie said it ain't the most important thing for him, but if he roll the ball out there and he shows up, he gonna show up. So, yeah.
Here's the thing. This could be Kevin. This might have been what Kevin Durant been waiting for. I'm back because this Kevin Durant time. Playoffs is Kevin Durant time. This might be where he say, "Okay, I'm the best player." He goes back to saying, "I'm the best player in the world."
This is also where James Harden is usually running out of gas and he get ready fresh.
Yeah, I can say he could be fresh.
So yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Like you said, one Jason Taylor may get you one.
Sweet.
That's because Brooklyn gave it to you. The other 2-7, Lakers, Suns.
Yo, could LeBron have asked for a better matchup in the first round?
Nope.
Being that low, could he have asked for a better matchup? We're talking about a team that's really green. They are so, at least if they had lost to the Warriors, if they had lost to the Warriors, they would have beat the Grizzlies last night. And then they would have got Utah. That would have been interesting. Utah's more veteran. They got
size. They can match up
better. I'd say probably a little deeper than Phoenix.
Yeah.
But now you're going to get this green team who's led by a guy who, for whatever reason, starts to break down around this time of year.
He did hold up last year.
He's my guy. CP3. He is my guy. But he usually starts to break down around this time of year. But I just feel like that team being so young and the Lakers having that veteran experience, I got a feeling they're going to make quick work of this. So I don't see Phoenix winning more than 2 games in this series.
I agree.
So I'll give them 2 games just out of respect for Chris Paul and Devin Booker and Monty Williams. I'll give them 2 games, but that veteran leadership down there, who, let's be honest with ourselves, they made about a skin of their teeth.
They should have lost the game.
But they here.
Give them some BS. Should have lost that game. But listen, again, that could be the Warrior fan in me. But listen, everybody know, man. There was a couple phantom calls out there, and then LeBron out here talking about I see 3 rims. Anyway.
So the Lakers, I just feel like they're just as deep as the Suns, but I think it's their experience that's gonna get them over the hump in this series.
I'm gonna say
the Suns gonna have to run them out of the gym. That's probably the Suns' only hope. Run them out of the gym, but that's gonna take a wear and tear on Chris Paul.
I'm gonna say this: the longer the series goes, the worse it becomes for the Suns. If you can jump on them early, I think the Suns have a chance, because I still think LeBron is a little hobbled and getting back into game shape. I think AD.
Game 2 is gonna tell this series whether the Suns win game 1 or not. Game 2 is gonna tell this series. If the Lakers go up 2-0, or if it's split 1-1, it's gonna be tough. The Suns gotta win both of those games. They gotta win both home games to have a shot in this series. They cannot split, and they definitely can't lose both of them.
Nah, they lose both games. Both games.
It's a wrap if they
Wrap.
lose both games. If 1-1, they still got a shot. But you win both of them, you can potentially win this series.
I
I
agree.
don't see them doing it though.
Me either. I
It's
think
gonna be
a six.
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. That's why I said game 2, because game 1, the Lakers didn't. I don't think the Lakers won a game 1 the whole entire playoffs last year. And then after those struggles the other night, LeBron still looks a little hobbled to me. He looks like he trusts his ankle yet. And then
Well, no,
if you get the AD in the second half,
it's a wrap.
it's a wrap.
But if you get first half,
But if you get first half AD,
the Lakers in the long,
it's gonna be a long series. It's gonna be a long series. But that second half AD, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for the Suns. They had no answer for that.
Yeah. Yeah, Suns. I got the Lakers in 6, man.
Yeah, I got the Lakers in 6. I got the Lakers in 6, man.
I think Chris Paul can get you one. I think Devin Booker can get you one, and I think that's because the Lakers still are a little. They trying to get their legs together. They're trying to get back together. I mean, they've been injured almost all season. So, yeah.
Yep.
And I think the Andre Drummond signing was a little bit.
It was splash. It never. I said it. When does LeBron play with that type of big? He doesn't play with that type of big. It was a splash. It was to keep him from going to somewhere that could have really used him. That's all it was.
AD, we saw second half AD, but when Andre Drummond went to the bench, I'm gonna say this though: if AD keeps standing on the perimeter shooting threes,
they ain't going nowhere. Again, I said it last year. It didn't. I was a year premature. AD will have to be the Finals MVP this year if the Lakers want to win the Finals. LeBron hobbled and a year older. I don't see him it's going to be too much for him to carry this team throughout the entire playoffs. AD is going to have to be the guy from game 1 through whenever they win the NBA Finals if they're going to win it this year.
I got you. All right, 1-8. Let's start West because I'm gonna say that the Sixers for last one. Grizzlies, Jazz. Whew. If it was Jazz, Warriors, I would have picked the Warriors probably in 7. I just think I do like Ja Morant. If Ja Morant stays on, I think Ja Morant and Devin and Donovan Mitchell. That's gonna be like Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell last year. I think that's what it's gonna be. I don't know if the Grizzlies have anything else. Like Kevin Durant. Steph Curry can give you avalanches where he can carry a series by himself. I don't know if Ja can. I don't know if Ja can give you those type of he had a monster game last night, but he's not going to sustain that all series. So for me, I think that may be fireworks between the two guards. I do think the Grizzlies make it tough. I just don't know if the Grizzlies have enough to even win a game. I just don't.
I disagree. I think this goes 6. I think it goes 6. Utah in 6 only because Donovan's going to be getting himself back together. He's going to be getting back in the game shape. It might take him a game or 2 to get himself back together, but then once he gets it back together, he takes over. But it's the others for me. It's the Joe Ingles, the Mike Conleys, the Bogdanoviches. It's those guys. Those are the guys who, if Bogdanovich was healthy last year, do they blow that 3-1 lead against Denver? I don't think so. So for me, those guys being healthy, Donovan Mitchell, of course, needs to be healthy. Utah takes care of business. But I do think between Ja, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson, Jonas Valanciunas, I think they can win a game or 2. I think that, again, I like that roster.
I like it.
I like it. I like that. I like Kyle Anderson. I like the roster. I think that's a good, solid roster, and I think they can get some good experience here, and I think they'll win a game or two.
I think that I think they make it tough. I think these aren't blowout games. I just think that I don't know if the Grizzlies have enough firepower. Like I
Yeah,
like
I'm with you. I'm with you. That's why. But live by the three, die by the three. Utah will have a game or two where they don't shoot well, and Memphis can pull it out. That's the only reason. That's it. That's it. I
I got
just think Utah is much better than people are giving them credit for. I know they didn't have an MVP candidate, but they are the number one seed for a reason. And I think people are kind of just glossing over them a little bit. But the Lakers don't have to see them until potentially the conference finals. So they're in a good spot.
yeah, yep. So yeah, I got the Grizzlies. I mean, I got the Jazz in five. I did five because I think that John Morant will get them a game. Um, but yeah, Jazz in five. Sixers, Wizards. I'm gonna let you. Because what I say, I don't think bias, but because I'm a Sixers fan, it could come off that way. Um, so I'm gonna let you start. I'm gonna let you start.
Sweet. There's no answer for Joel Embiid. It's just that simple. Russ can have his triple doubles all he want. Bradley Beal can hit all the threes he wants. They have no answer for Joel Embiid down the other end. And this is the question that I have for you. This is the only thing that's gonna who does Ben guard? Russ or Bradley? Because I'd have him guard Bradley because to me, he's more important.
And I will actually have him guard Russ. I will have him guard Russ. Because I think Russ is the head. I think
Yeah, but to me, Russ is in self check. I don't.
I agree.
When I
And
need him the most, it doesn't matter who's gardening. It doesn't matter who's gardening because he'll self destruct. So for me, I make Bradley have to shoot as many difficult shots as possible over Ben, and Russ can have at it. He's in self check.
late games, I throw Ben on Bradley. Start the game out, I throw Russ.
I mean, he's gonna see both. He's gonna see both,
Yeah.
but I definitely make sure he's on Bradley because Russ will take care of himself.
The crazy thing I'm gonna tell you is that late at some point they're gonna throw Matisse and Ben out there together, and they're gonna guard both.
This is where the Wizards, and I'm not saying that he would have done anything as far as shutting down Joel Embiid, but this is where they will definitely feel the absence of Thomas Bryant.
I agree because he's just another big body.
He's a big body, he's a good athlete, got good instincts. You know what I mean? He could have made Joel, you know what I mean, had to take the tougher shots, you know what I mean? But shutting nothing down.
But Joe
But
did.
he, I was gonna say it would have just went 5 games. But
So I'm with. It's a sweep.
but this is a sweep because Doc is not going to take the foot off the gas, and the Sixers look like they're hungry. They look like finally we looking like the team that we have supposed to have been 3-4 years ago. Let's be real.
So I agree with you. Speaking of the Wizards, um, the Wizards don't want none of the smoke with with the with the Sixers. Transition to another Wizards player who wants all the smoke.
With everybody, it seems like right now.
I mean, so um, I'm gonna keep it real with you. If I was Kwame Brown, I probably wouldn't have said nothing. Like Kwame, you wasn't a good NBA player. You got trashed in the NBA. And you getting trashed now. You like these Matt Barnes and Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. They're part of the media now. They have a podcast. This is what they do. They should do this. The only person I probably would have came at if I was Matt Barnes, I mean not Matt Barnes, if I was Kwame Brown, was Gilbert Arenas. And even with Gilbert Arenas' comments, I don't think that they were like coming at Kwame Brown. I mean, listen, anybody who watch sports see what Kwame Brown is. Wasn't terrible in the NBA, but he was the first overall pick. When you come like Bat Barnes, when you are a first overall pick, that comes with expectations. When those expectations aren't met, this happens.
Yeah, this happens. I mean, this is the thing. I understand everybody's point. You know what I mean? Like it's basketball, yada yada yada, and they got a podcast. They're in the media now. Yeah, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that man ain't got that man can't take it how you want to take it. You know what I mean? And it's been a long time. That man has been out of the league for what, 8-9 years now.
2013.
So I guess he was just like enough's enough. And if you're gonna say something about somebody, negative or positive, if that person wants to respond, they can respond however they want to respond. Now, I was like, he should have kept it basketball. I thought it did get a little too personal. But hey, this has been a lot building up from all different directions, from a lot of different people who didn't really know the insides of his career or whatever. Like he's coming out now talking about some of the things he had to go through when he was with the Wizards. That stuff's crazy. I heard Ethan Thomas talk about some stuff that was going on with Kwame Brown. It was crazy. But I felt Kwame. Like enough was enough. And, you know, he gonna clap back. Now, don't get I hope this would be a opportunity for them to show that black men can disagree about something, have an argument about something, even though it got a little personal. But let's not get the violence, fellas. Let's not want to roll up on one another, square up. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. It's really not that serious. Like that man said what he had to say. Like, I mean, honestly, I don't think there was anything said that nobody on there has never heard before. Matt Barnes, you are light skinned, so I'm pretty sure you heard all the things that man said to you. You heard that before. Steven Jackson, everybody knew Steven Jackson loved the strippers. That was why he had no business being being a Hulk. It was not a good idea for him to be a Hulk. He had no business being a Hulk. So it wasn't anything that anybody said that nobody already didn't kind of already know or feel some type of way. Let's just keep it entertaining. Let's keep doing these videos, man. Kwame Brown might just now be going into another career. He might have just found another career through this. So this avenue his response might have just got him another stream of income. You know what I mean? So take this, fellas, and flip it into a positive outcome. Do not let this end in a negative way. That's my only take. It's been entertaining, and I feel Kwame in everything that he said. I agree with everything that he said. I agree with the clapbacks. See, Renee can get it. Jamel Hill, she wanted to open her mouth. She can get it too. Like, I feel him. But this is the thing. We always want to say, I wish athletes would tell us the truth. And then when athletes open their mouth and tell us the truth, we want them to shut up. Nope. Open your mouth. Tell us how you really feel, Kwame. Tell us how you really feel. Give it to him, Kwame. Give it to him.
I don't So when I say like keep me quiet, like you said, when Kwame make it personal, man, like
Yeah, I feel you.
Kwame
Don't
makes
go too. Don't he go. But I feel you. I feel you. Like he go too personal. But I mean, like, man, it's been a long time. This is a lot of tension building. I never heard the boy talk before. Well, the man. I never heard him talk before. I never heard him talk. I never heard his voice until now. I was like, man, that's how he sounds.
Kwame. Listen, Kwame has Kwame to blame. Well, him and Jordan, because Jordan should never pick him. Jordan should never pick him as the overall pick.
But let's be real. If you go back and you look at that 01 draft, that draft was trash.
It was trash.
It was trash. So I believe, unless your name was Pau Gasol, everybody was going to be a bust. If Tyson Chandler or Eddie Curry, one of them had it gone,
just off of those four players that
they would have been bust too, right? They would have been the first.
I
They would have been
don't know.
overall bust.
I
They
don't
would
know.
have been. They
But
would have
listen,
been.
but listen, three of them I thought was gonna be bust early on. Yeah, I mean, but even out of those four that you named, Kwame, Powell, Eddie, and Tyson, Kwame's still the fourth best player. He's still the fourth best player out of all those players. Eddie Curry had monster years and shit in New York and in Chicago. Monster years. He just got injured.
I'll give you that.
Just got injured. He had better. I think Kwame Brown had a
I give you that. I give you all of that. But if you the stuff that I'm hearing, Doug Collins, Michael Jordan had a little bit of something to do with how that panned out, and then pretty much you go from you're dealing with that to dealing with the other guy that was just like Michael Jordan and Kobe. So I'm pretty sure he was belittled and that type of thing in that situation as well. But he was a little bit older and a little bit more mature, so he was probably able to handle it better than he was when he was a freaking 18-year-old kid fresh out of high school having to deal with it. But I'm with you. He's a bust. Yeah, he's a bust, and based upon where he was drafted. But he had a decent
career.
He had a decent career. You know what I mean? It's not like most NFL busts, they don't get to last. They don't get to have a longevity. They're a bust. At least NBA busts get to have longevity and make millions playing a game for over. He played in the league for over a decade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, I agree. I just think again, Kwame is just a bust based off of where he was drafted.
Yep.
And that's all on.
Yeah, and the thing about it, let's be real, it did not help that Stephen A. Smith started saying that man name like that. You know what I mean? That helped. You know what I'm saying? But Kwame's right in everything that he said. I ain't got no problem. I ain't got no problem with what he said. Even though the personal stuff might be rubbed some people the wrong way, but for me, when you taking that type of, you know what I mean, belittlement, even after your career is over, you're still having to deal with that over and over and over and over and over, and that's what you're basically known to be. Mm-hmm. He didn't change the narrative. He's not known for that no more.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Like I said,
he's known for the clap. He's known for the clap back. That should be his theme song right now.
Now the thing again, if Kwame can handle it, it's great. If he can handle what's going to come, the avalanche that's going to come if he keep doing it, great. You know what I mean? But if he wanted to be chill, Kwame, live your life, like I wouldn't have clapped back like he did. But if this, like you said, if this is going to be the new avenue for Kwame, it's awesome. It's great. You know what I mean? It's going to be great TV. It's going to be a great whatever radio, whatever it is that he does. I mean, whatever he does off of this, whatever he parlays this into, I think it'll be great. So yeah, I just think that Kwame just keep it, like you said, just keep it basketball.
This was an opportunity. Again, this is an opportunity for them to flip it into something lucrative, because now that should be broadcasted everywhere. That Up in the Smoke episode with Kwame Brown. Like it should be happening now. They all don't need to be in the same building because you don't want tempers to flare and crazy stuff to happen. They should he should join via whatever streaming device they want to do it off of. But boom, you got an episode, you've got content, you can talk about it. Hopefully, you have a conversation off camera first, where you can be heated and butt heads and everything, and then you get on camera, you can have that cordial conversation. And I'm pretty sure he played with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Kwame Brown has stories.
He played with Matt Barnes and Gilbert Arenas.
Like he has stories, so you can bring him on and talk to him about entertaining stuff, and it doesn't have to be about the personal stuff. You don't even have to make it about you guys just arguing. Just showing that you guys could hash it out, talk it out, and then come together will be a great example.
I hope Kwame can laugh about some of the things that I think he can joke about some of the things that he's been through with Kobe and with Jordan. Yeah, I mean, like it was a long time ago. Like, you was 18. Yeah, I mean, you were younger. You was the first overall pick in Wizards history. Like that is really where a lot of it stemmed from. Like he was the number 1 overall pick in Wizards history, where Pau Gasol, who arguably probably a top 10 power forward of all time. Yeah, I mean, was in that draft. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that is where a lot of it stemmed from. But I'm with you. I think that they can make this. They can spin this and make it great. If everybody can joke about it.
Yep.
Laugh about it. One thing you said real quick that I love that you said, yeah, I mean, and it's true. When athletes tell the truth and keep it real, you get mad. Like Kevin Durant, like people get mad Durant all the time. You keep it real. He clapped back. He is. If somebody trolling me in my DMs, somebody say something to me, I might not look at all of them. But if you keep saying the same stuff, like I'm a real mild mannered chill guy. But if you keep coming at me, then I'm gonna snap back. I don't care who you are. So who I am.
Yep.
And when Kevin Durant do it, people get mad.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a problem with Kyrie saying right now basketball isn't the most important thing to me in the world. That's not an issue. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in the world. So if basketball isn't his number one thing right now, but he's still showing up and he's giving you everything while he's there, but when he leaves there, yeah, basketball ain't on my mind. That's fine.
Listen,
there's nothing wrong with that.
I said this to my boss the other day. He said, Dom, you're exempt employee. So when you're technically a 24-hour employee. Even when you're home, I need you to check your emails, everything. I said, bruh, when I'm at home, when I'm off the clock, I ain't thinking about work. Yeah, I mean, so what's the difference between me saying that and Kyrie saying that?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's not that important. Like basketball, he loves playing basketball. That's his job. But at the end of the day, when he clocked out, he's not on that court. He's not tapped in. He's not tapped into that.
Exactly.
The things that's in the world more important to him. Same thing with. So, listen, that's the show. Final thoughts. My final thought is this. I think yesterday was the first day that the CDC said that you can walk around with your mask off for the people who got the COVID shot and got the COVID vaccine. If you talk about a lot on the show, you say, like, be careful, be smart. You're going to have to, man, because right now, what is stopping everybody from not having a mask? Even people who don't got the COVID shot. What's going to stop people from not wearing their masks? So right now, just be smart about it. Have some human decency to think about others. Like, if you know you're not vaccinated up, don't just be out here willy-nilly, man, and people face you, I mean, and whatever. Because I think they're about to shorten it from 6 feet to 3 feet as well.
Yep.
Like, just have some human decency, some human courtesy, man. Just to think about somebody. Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
you're not gonna get carded. You're not going like it's an honor system, but just think about somebody else. My final thought.
My final thought, man, is my thoughts and prayers from Speak On It, from my man Dom, from me, Biv, is with Taman, my friend Taman, and his wife Kim, and the Rowley family, man, as you know, they lay the family member to rest. So our thoughts and prayers go out to them and to the Rowley family. Just know that us here at Speak On It, man, we're thinking about you.
Definitely. Love you too. All right, y'all know what it is. That's our show. Again, if y'all like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on our Facebook, highlight us on Instagram. If y'all want to talk about anything sports related, hip hop culture related, or if y'all want to be on one of the awareness shows. But until next time, I'm gonna let y'all go. Speak On It.
Peace.